Okay, hey, welcome back. It's another week at the Street Farm. It's your girl Marjorie, and I'm here with my girl Sabine. And we are here back to talk again about the kids. And this week it's about change. Just trying to see what kind of things we can change in our worlds, in our lives. And since we're talking about kids, so we're gonna ask some questions. I have a couple of questions that we already went over, so that we can let our brains think a little bit to see what's going to pop up. I think it's so important to stop and think about where our kids are at every phase. Just like we stop in our own lives. When we tell each other, where do you see yourself in 5 years? In 10 years. We need to give our kids these goals. Yep. Right? 100, yeah. When we give birth to a kid, we need to think about what we want to have our kids doing in 5 years, and that's to get them ready for school. Right? Because we're definitely going to put them in a mainstream school to where they're around other kids. Mm-hmm. Several other people are going to be demanding their attention, wanting them to listen, telling them where to go, and we're not going to be around them.
Exactly.
Right? And how much of those 5 years do we actually prepare our kids?
That's the $1 million question.
Yeah. I don't know if I don't know if I did. I sent my kids to daycare. I think I thought that was like a stepping stone for them, but I don't think I actually told them what was going to be expected of them and how many people are going to be dependent and reliant on their actions on a day-to-day basis. Because going to school, it shows structure, right? And it shows the willingness to belong to a group, to a group of individuals that all see the same important mission, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
But how much do you think that you've considered it? Me speaking about it right now.
Well, first and foremost, thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it. Always a pleasure. It's so many factors into things that I think some of us just wing motherhood, right? Like we probably weren't properly trained about it. And then you have a whole different gap of age groups. You have teen moms. You have the ones who prepared for it. They say by 30, boom, boom, boom. And then you have those like, I'm at 40 something, like, oh my gosh, I wasn't even expecting.
Yeah.
And so with this different age range, some people just wing it. Like, just go. And then you have others who decide that they are so involved that they would rather be a stay-at-home mom and teach their kids school, period. Like, you're not going to learn this public stuff.
Yeah.
I will teach you.
This is true.
Yeah, so that's like so many different broad range about school. But then it depends on the level, too. Like, are we thinking about young kids from kindergarten and up? Or daycare and up, or high school and up. You know what I mean? Like all these different
phases.
Exactly.
We have to respect every phase.
Yeah.
We should always respect every phase and look at every phase. And you're right. So many people come into it not really on the same broadband. So we got our kids, right? So say we're the parents that were ready. We planned for this. We're in our 30s. We're just having kids. Our kids are now going to school. And we've raised our kids so well and had them prepared. And now they're stuck in a room with more than 50% of the kids that were not prepared.
Not prepared. Probably don't even speak the language. Not from here. Probably have parents who are into drugs and craziness at home. So they
Then we don't even think about, do we prepare our kids for those kids?
Exactly. That's the better question.
Yeah.
How do we prepare our kids to meet
kids
and deal with other kids? Even us as grown-ups, we're not even prepared to go deal with other grown-ups.
No.
So,
let alone thinking about some other 5-year-old.
What?
I gotta think about my own.
The only thing they have right now as a 5-year-old is they don't have any bills. But I think the whole social structure still remains the same. Like, if a young kid is going to a new school, they might still have that anxiousness.
Yeah.
You know, just like...
It's very true.
Yeah, so they just don't pay bills for right now, but they go through the same thing and probably not even focusing on the learning because they're so busy trying not to get bullied.
Exactly.
Or get their lunch picked on.
Or look too smart. So
well,
I've seen kids do it.
Really?
I have seen kids not do their homework.
That's interesting.
Because they don't want to look like the smart kid.
So that's a sign that maybe they're in a bad school.
Yeah.
That's also another indicator to bullyism. Because if you don't want to look smart, it's probably because you don't want to be teased, right? Or get picked on.
Yeah. But and then I think about all these things, and then because I came to this conclusion to where it's like, well, I worked hard to get to where I'm at right now. I worked hard for my kids. I worked hard with my education so that I can get a good job, so that I can buy a house for my kids to live in. And I take my kids to these schools, and this is what I get. This is what I get. This is what I get. I paid how much money to go to school and to do the right thing, and I'm sending my kids to school with other people's kids that don't care as much as you do.
Exactly. I was just about to point out too that you have in schools today a lot of parents who are not willing to participate and be that involved.
Yeah.
So that leaves like a handful of parents that might be on the PTA board or even.
Girl, at my school,
I wasn't on the PTA.
I've seen 2 consistent parents, and I was one of them.
Wow.
One of them, and I was so consistent. The administration doesn't like me. I'm not even asked to volunteer anymore. No.
Wow, that's a whole other topic.
Yeah.
Hi.
But this is why we're here. We're here. She's saying hi to my daughter, Leanna.
She's so cute.
Thank you very much. But this is why we're here. We're here to enact some change, manifest change.
Welcome back.
Welcome back. This is how we change things. We just do things how we want to. We start off when we want.
Ooh, that freedom.
Yes.
Oh my gosh. It's like letting your hair down.
Cue. We got to spring them.
That's that, coily thing.
Right? It's that natural. Okay, so.
Where were we? Yes, it's all about the kids. Whitney
Yes.
Houston said it best. I believe the children are
The people.
our future.
Yes. So this question I came up with, I think it's good to start off with. Name one thing that is proactive in education today. Proactive, not reactive. I always ask this question to people. The reactive, proactive question to anything.
One thing that is proactive, well, it's the same thing that's been proactive on a consistent basis is the academics, like the testing.
Testing.
I would say that's always good because you want to stretch the brains. You want to see the limits. So if I had to pick one thing that is proactive,
The
whole
to
purpose.
test. Yeah, the purpose
of
for
schooling.
testing. The
Yeah.
purpose of testing.
Even though a lot of the
testing is weird. It's like
yeah, but at least
there's something happening.
Memorization. It is. Yeah. So I think that's proactive.
You are right. That is a good example of something that is still proactive in school today. Can it be tweaked? Definitely, I think it can be tweaked, but I think it's always vital to see where someone is at every phase in life.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
Phases
That's
are
how you
important
move up to the next thing.
mark yourself, though.
Yeah.
Yourself. I think that's the only scores they should really show a child.
Yourself.
Are your scores from the year before, from the same time bracket. So say I went to kindergarten, and I took a test at the beginning of September. I want you to take the same test at the end of the school year in June, and I want to see how high you do. It's the test is going to have on there everything that you may or may not learn, that you will learn throughout the school year, but you may or may not already know the information yet.
Yeah, I mean, I think the U.S. system is slightly different versus other schools. Like, I was born and raised in Haiti, and we had to memorize everything for the whole entire school year. So you do it weekly, and then eventually the big test was what you learned for the whole year comes right back around. So the U.S. is like, no child left behind. you have a bit of a leeway here, I must say.
A bit.
Because if you learn something like first quarter or first semester or first cycle, I don't know how they do it now.
Yeah.
But once you're done with that, you just move on to the next thing.
With a lot of
you practically,
them,
you practically.
The final is no longer the final. It's the next goal.
It's a new beginning. Nothing is final.
Exactly.
But what about you? What would you say is a proactive thing right now?
I think the most proactive thing in school is requiring the kids to be in the same room with other kids.
What?
Structure.
Okay.
Structure of everybody doing the same thing. I'm not necessarily understanding, they don't understand really what is going on, but it is teaching the kids that we're all going to learn the same information at the same time. And we're all going to move on at the same time.
Well, I do like the schools that actually single out some kids because they're a little too advanced.
Yes.
And they're learning at a different capacity, at a different speed, so you can't hold them back.
Exactly.
And keep them there and say, hey, we all have to move at the same speed. So I think that's fair to put them in special schools.
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
I think they call it the gifted and talented or something like that.
It is.
I think that's quite fair to do.
It is. I think the best part of schooling systems is seeing that some of them do realize that there are different kids that can just process the information quicker, and they're still making themselves present in our world today. Because it is a dying breed. A lot of people are not seeing the artistic abilities of our children. So the fact that we're still trying to make those type of structures in other atmospheres for everybody, that's important.
Well, I think why some of these kids may have gone under the radar too, like for them not to be noticed, is probably because now the ratio is so much bigger. Whereas before you had an instructor that may have had 10 to 15 kids, and now that same instructor has to give all of his attention to like what, 20 something, even up to 30 in certain areas. That's crazy. So how can you depict everybody's special talents when you can't really focus entirely on anyone for a given amount of time?
It is very true. It is very true. That is, I believe that everything in the school system today, it had good intent behind it. And I think along the way, we just lost the ability of the real intent. And we're just doing it now.
Yeah, I think, you know how sometimes you might be playing on a new business or you're playing on a new show or something, but you didn't see that far ahead. Yeah. So maybe the school system didn't see that much multiplication of students. So it's like they multiply all over the place, and now you're like scrambling to figure out, oh my gosh, how do we divvy it up? How do we set it back up? How do we find a better way? Yeah. So it's like...
And for me, going to school, because I went to school to get my bachelor's in accounting.
Nice.
And
numbers.
Yeah, I'm a numbers girl. I can see those numbers and read those numbers. And it's always been clear to me that no matter what step I did in accounting, I always knew that certain steps just had to be written down. And they just had to be double checked to make sure I am still doing the right process.
That's true.
Because sure enough, the second you think that, oh, I got this, I already know that I got to do the A to the B to the Z, and then back to the B, and then sometimes D, right?
Yeah, you can't cheat.
You can't, because that's when you forget, and every time you forget, it just messes everything up, and then you have to go back and redo it. So at this point in time in school, I believe the proactive mindset is there, but they don't understand the intent. Yeah. They don't understand why we're putting our kids into this structured setting.
Yeah, but I do think they are coming with creative ways to at least give instructional training to me.
With the gifted schools.
The gifted schools. Like
the different schools, like the non-public schools. Okay. I would say that they are becoming more creative. I came across this school. It's called Tinkergarten, and they teach. Yeah, and they teach their kids outside.
Okay.
And it's year long. Every single day they have class. Whatever day they have class, they're outside. They're learning outside, weather permitting. If it's extremely hot or extremely cold, they said they don't hold class. But it's that structure environment. We said we're going to have this outside. It's always going to be outside.
Okay.
Right. So the schools, they're proactive.
They're keeping their promise like, what's his name?
Trump?
He's just...
Trump.
No, the basketball player who just gave the promise for the school.
Or what was his name?
What's the guy's name?
LeBron.
It just came out in the air, right? The I Promise School. So Tinkerbell sounds like they made a promise and they're sticking to it. And I think your environment helps a lot with how you do learn.
Yeah.
Because if you're outside, maybe you can touch, you can feel, you can, it's probably... They're just trying different strategies to see what's going to work best. So that's cool. I'm down.
Oh, definitely. I think in an outdoor school system would be radical. And it's definitely one of my to-do lists. It's on my bucket list.
Nice.
It is on my bucket list. I have a lot of things envisioned in my life to share with the world. And I do foresee it in and out school. Because we belong in and outside. Because sometimes we need to be inside.
Yeah.
And sometimes we need to be outside. it's day. We need day and we need night.
We do. I mean, if you go back in time, I don't know if an inside was ever meant to be. If you're thinking of the Garden of Eden, it just all sounds so outdoorsy.
Yeah, I think superficial covering is what was needed.
Superficial covering.
Superficial covering.
So if I'm in a home, it's superficial. I can sleep outside. So don't look at me like I'm a homeless person.
Right? Let's just go buy a tent. They have cool tents for us.
Cool tents.
But anyways, on to the next question. That was a great question, though.
That was awesome.
That was a great question. So our next question is, I'm going to go on to, how can we start to incorporate better life skills for children to become better life partners? How can we incorporate better life skills for our children to become better life partners?
That's an awesome question. That's a very good question, actually. How can we do that? The very first thing, they always say children imitate what they see. So technically speaking, you start with the adult.
That's right.
Right? And I think half of us are already messed up as it is anyways. So we're like a done deal. But there's still hope for the children. There's still hope for them.
We just gotta revamp.
We gotta revamp. So whatever the things that we went through with some of our experiences, maybe we could really play that extra eye for them.
Yeah, we gotta
tell them, like there's a ditch over here. I'm telling you, do not go that path. Like, I fell. Yeah. Maybe I got up. Maybe I didn't get up. But either way, this was the experience for going through that path. And I think, too, one of the key things I'm noticing a lot now in our society is we do have a lot of narcissists around. We do have a lot of abuse going on. We have a lot of these things. So I think we should train awareness to kids at an early age so that they could depict certain red flags, certain, key things like that could lead to possible domestic violence or drug abuse. Like, if you start teaching them at an earlier age the things to look for.
Don't needy.
Exactly. Kids. So, but if we don't know better, we can't teach them to do better. So a lot of their fault is really ours. Yeah. Right? They're just showing us what we really are about. Because if we were strong, exactly. If we were about it, if we were in that healthy state, that's what we would project back onto them. Exactly. So if they're going through the wayside, it's not necessarily the devil or whatever. It's just us teaching them incorrectly because maybe we weren't properly trained. We didn't have the role models. We didn't have the right parenting in our lives to help us become better, healthier human beings in society. So
that's a great answer.
Oh, thank you,
I love your answer so much. I love your answer because it's like it just opens up a whole nother segment for me. Thank you.
Nice.
Because it's true. We are the best example for our kids. And if we can't see that example in our kids, it's okay. It's all right.
Yeah.
We messed up before, and we made it better, right? We can do it again.
Yeah.
And if we catch it early enough with our kids, we can save them.
Yeah, but we do have to be careful too, though, because you have some parents, because they didn't get certain things, or because they messed up, or because they didn't get to live a certain lifestyle, they start living vicariously through their kids.
Overindulgent.
And yeah, over obsessing and
Yeah.
overdoing things and pushing the kids beyond their limits because this is their desire.
Like
not understanding.
extra schoolwork.
Yeah, right?
Extra,
you need to
extra.
be in the dance team. You need to join the mascot. You need to, you know,
Yes.
like, Mom, I don't like music.
Baseball
We're not gonna
season's
listen to
over.
that. Yeah.
You need to go now. Volleyball.
Cheerleading. Come on, get with the popular crowd.
And then you need to intern at your uncle's shop. As soon as you get out of the sport, whatever sport it is, you need to go intern. You need to go do that. And then you need to take out the garbage too and make sure your clothes are washed. And
Keeping
your
them
room
busy is good though. Like, you're gonna stay out of trouble if you're this busy. Maybe you might take Mom later.
Yeah. Well, we need to start incorporating us into those demands.
Yeah.
Right? Well, we need to go play volleyball together instead of going to put them on a team.
There you go.
Right?
Togetherness.
Let's go make our own team, right? Let's go get Grandma and tell her that she can't beat us. Go ahead, Grandma. Throw that volleyball.
Dad, Bobby, so competitive.
I want the trophy.
Right? Like, come on. You know it has our name all over it already.
You know you want that Dunkin' Donuts gift certificate.
Yeah, look at my kid. He's the best. Isn't he the best? My kid's better than yours.
Right? That's right. Championships all the way. This is how you bring back the community. You get the parents to learn how to be competitive with the kids. You want your kids to be great, show them how you can be great with them.
I like the sound of that. That community activity, parents versus kids.
Mm-hmm.
The parents versus kids. I think that would work out.
Right?
I still got it.
And that's when you have that fake intentional bullying, like, get up. Don't let them talk to you like that.
That's another topic.
Don't let him talk to you like that. That's exactly what I'm talking about, son. You tell him he's not going to take that ball from you. And that's exactly how you teach your kids to defend themselves, at the same time having fun with them and learning how to tell them, okay, it's done. Let's go calm down and get some ice cream or something.
Ooh, ice cream.
You know, let's
Who doesn't
mellow it
want
out.
an ice cream treat? I like the kids going each and every time.
Dairy, non-dairy, you know, let's be wild.
With sprinkles. Sprinkles on banana split.
Ooh.
Okay, back to the children.
Okay, the children can come.
They can come. These poor kids, if they stuck with us as parents, oh my God. But praise the Lord.
Praise it. Praise it.
So what about you? What other life skills you think?
I don't know how I can top your answer. Yours was pretty good.
No, but I think, you want them to become life partners. Because eventually they will mate with somebody.
Yes.
And if they're not together, that will fall apart. You see how relationship goes haywire now. Look at Hollywood.
So I would say that it's important to show them a relationship then.
It's important.
Stable relationship.
But how can you do that when there's so many single parent homes? You don't have that whole family structure.
I think you have to make it.
Imitate.
I think you have to make it.
Okay, let's go. Just grab the guy.
You have to make it.
Grab the kid.
We all have people in our kids' lives that are being there for them.
That's true.
And we have to let them know, hey, look, I know Dad's not here how you want him to be. But we got Uncle Jimmy over here, and he is batshit for you. You know? And he's over here like, yeah, Johnny.
Yeah, some people do get lucky. Some kids do get that luck.
Yeah.
Where they have somebody else who can step in and take on the role of the missing parents.
Yeah. Same way. And it goes both ways. The parent needs to step back and say, well, hey, you know what? I am a single person, but I have to show my kid another figure. Because it always takes two. There will always be a mother and there will always be a father. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. And until we start to accept that, you don't have to accept the father, but you do need to accept a father figure and a mother figure. They both have to be present. whoever it is, you need to anoint them, indoctrinate them, whatever it is, baptize them. That's your father, that's your mother, and understand that's where the love is going to come from, and commit to that unconditional love, because that's what a child needs and needs to receive from day one.
Yeah, at the end of the day, once they have that, they're good.
Yeah.
Dad, I missed you.
Even though this is the end, we
Aw.
are here.
The end is never good.
And the end is always good because it's the end of something and the beginning of the next.
The beginning, I like it.
Right.
I like it. I just heard beginning. I like
Yes.
beginnings.
Always.
Beginnings are
And so I just want to say thank you so much for coming on the show and chit-chatting with me.
Aww.
And speaking about change and changing things up. I'm going to give you this moment to say whatever you want to say at this point.
Well, I want to say it was an absolute pleasure. I was not expecting to have as much fun as I did. So meeting you in person, it's very lively, entertaining, energizing, just
Thank you.
very charismatic. I enjoyed it. I really enjoyed it. And I got to learn a few things more with you opening up and speaking about this change. And we're talking about kids, and I'm like, I don't have a baby, but like that's making me think. Now it's like, wait a minute, maybe I should get another baby. So I
You can always
train up for the
borrow.
change.
No.
I do plenty of borrowing. Like, go back now. Bye bye.
Oh, you want to be a part of the change? Go ahead, have another baby then. I'm all for
Yeah,
it.
the whole grid, the whole change, the whole partnership, all of it. I
Yeah.
want to play with these parents.
Yeah, right?
I'm like, get the ball, Johnny.
It's our season.
Right? Woo! Yeah, it's game changers.
Yes, but I do hope that I do get a chance to get a couple of kids together. I do want to have my own little mock game with the kids and the parents.
Oh, nice.
I'm working on it. I would love for it to happen. Either that or have another Family Feud style game when I had a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, I mean, you leading towards the end of the year, there's more family-oriented activities coming up, even if it's just like Halloween or Christmas, Thanksgiving.
Yes.
Like, there's a lot.
Yes. Oh, and before I go, I also wanted to talk about this organization. They're called kids.org. It's KYDS. And they are very conscious about the kids and getting them to change their lifestyles. And they talk about being proactive, getting involved with meditation and yoga. They're having an open mic night. It's on the 18th, and it's in Asbury Park. I'm going to post more about it on our Facebook. So check out our Facebook, and I'm pretty sure I posted it. If not, I'm going to post it again. It's an open mic.
Oh, I like that.
It's an open mic. So I'm going to be there, and I'm going to go up there and do one of my spoken words. And
oh, you do spoken words now.
Yes, I do. Oh, snap. How you doing, bestie?
Oh, this is awesome. So basically, this open mic night lets kids come in.
Yeah, kids,
And
I believe
like
kids
the-
can go up there. The adults can go up there. Only positive words, they said.
Wow.
I said, well, I have a book
This
full.
is
I'm
good.
good.
This is better than talent show at school.
Yeah.
Wow,
I hope
I
to
like
get a system like that up here sooner than later, because Asbury Park is about 40 minutes from us.
Yeah, that's a drive.
From where we're at, but it's great to get them on the market and to get more people critter brains working and get them to want to be more involved out here and do those kind of activities.
I like that 100%.
Definitely,
This is
definitely.
great. Especially up here, we have more of a diversified community.
Yes.
So I think that would be a great platform.
Yes.
Out here, I
Yes,
like it.
Definitely mix things up.
Make it happen.
Yes. We're changing the circuit.
Game changers.
That's right.
Okay.
Thank you guys so much. I appreciate you guys listening all the way to the end of our video. Please don't forget to like, share, subscribe, whatever one. Please tell your friends about it.
Hit the bell.
Yes, hit the bell. Bye.